Day.
Hey everybody, happy Wednesday.
Okay, I was getting ready to say happy Friday.
It
Oh,
it feels that way. I think it feels that way because we have a little bit of sun outside. It's the middle of summertime. You feel like you should be doing some other things here.
well, sorry to bring you to a crashing halt. It's Wednesday, everybody. But you're right, Felicia. It's a really nice day out there today, with temperatures really comfortable throughout most of the day today. A little bit warmer than we were yesterday, but a lot of sunshine. I know the north side where I was at a restaurant last night. The first time we had gone out with a couple friends to an outdoor restaurant, and of course, 10 minutes after we sat down, it started pouring. So that was a sign to get back inside, but it doesn't look like we have any of that today. Can't rule out some stray showers and storms later on this afternoon. I think the coverage will be very widespread as we pan to the left and zoom in a little bit on Grant Park. Nice view of our downtown area. Again, a really gorgeous day, not too humid, but we will again have some pop-up showers here and there. High temperature today, we'll call it 80. Some of the area probably near the lakefront will be in the upper 70s. But again, very scattered afternoon storms and really just comfortable in general. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast as we continue a little warm up. Tomorrow we're warmer, but we don't have high dew points. So we're in good shape for tomorrow. It looks like a nice day. Friday looks hot, and that really starts a trend over the next 5 days, including the weekend, of temperatures in the upper 80s, low 90s, and kind of scattered storms on and off. None of these days will be washouts, but really Friday through Tuesday or Wednesday next week can't rule out a stray shower or storm here, even strong ones. Kind of hard to predict when they'll fall now, but so again, cool, not cool, but comfortable the next 2 days, and then heat and humidity returns for the weekend.
Very nice. I will say it was pretty chilly. Was it yesterday? I walked my dog with a long sleeve. I was like, oh my gosh, you could feel the difference, especially because we're so used to it being hot and humid all the time.
Yeah, yesterday I walked out earlier in the morning. I was like, ooh, a little chill in the air, but that's sort of how it feels today, at least to start the day, and then not so much for the next 5.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of it while you can. I got to hit the
For sure.
lakefront again.
For
There
sure.
you go. All right, guys, let's get into some top stories here. The FBI says a noose found in the garage stall of NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace was not a hate crime. Video shows a rope tied in a similar fashion being used as a garage door pull in the same stall back in 2019. Now, regardless, Wallace says he stands by his original statements that this was an act of hate.
I've been racing all my life. We've raced out of hundreds of garages that never had garage pools like that. So people that want to call it a garage pool and put out old videos and photos of knots being in their as their evidence, go ahead. It was a noose. It was a noose that was whether tied in 2019 or whatever. It was a noose. So it wasn't directed at me, but somebody tied a noose. That's what I am saying.
Yeah, so obviously, social media, you guys know how the internet is. A lot of people are responding. Some people are glad that there was an investigation in the first place, and others are basically saying that there is no way, like Wallace said there, that you can't get out of this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much, Deanna. Moving on, 3 Chicago police officers face being fired for allegedly making false reports about arrests caught on camera. The first happened at a Southside hospital in 2014. That's when an officer punched a handcuffed man for no apparent reason. Now, the other from 2015 involved 2 officers who opened fire on a car in the Lakeview neighborhood. That would happen during an arrest. Investigators say video from that incident shows they lied about why they opened fire.
Could be big news today from the Chicago Board of Education meeting. They're going to discuss their $33 million contract with Chicago Police Department. Now, while Mayor Lori Lightfoot has called the move a bad idea to pull police out of the schools, the teachers union plans to rally outside of CPS headquarters in support of pulling police out of the schools. So we'll have to wait and see how the Board of Education votes today.
Yeah, let's switch gears a little bit here and talk about Chicago State University. The Chicago State Board of Trustees passed a resolution passed by the university and the Department of Athletics, which eliminated baseball effective immediately. Now, I hung out at the school not too long ago, and I was able to talk to a player and a junior at Chicago State University, and he tells me that the way that the 30 some players on his team found out about the decision was over social media.
I think they definitely should have. Definitely messes a lot of our futures, and we don't really know what to do. So, it's just prolonging, just the weight. You know, it's not the best for us, but you know, this is what we have to do.
So this is obviously a conversation that has been had between a lot of people. You know, just let us know the information, let us know what's going on. But I want to bring in Leo Silva, who's an alum of CSU. He was on the baseball team as well. He was at the Zoom meeting on Monday, which talked a little bit about what was going on, who were the decision makers. Leo, good morning.
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So first of all, I want you to walk us through what happened on Monday and what information you got.
Sure. So, yeah, pretty much talking with most of the guys. They weren't at the meeting. You know, they found all of this out through social media. They found out through Twitter mainly. And the same thing with the other meeting, the first meeting that happened. This was the second meeting, which was the final decision to whether or not keep the program going. And this past Monday, this is when they decided that the program shouldn't be, you know, they should cut the program. And these guys found out through social media, and it was very unprofessional. Most of these guys had, you know, a lot of questions. The parents had a lot of questions, and they were pretty much left in the dark. And a lot of you know, questions in the air, and you know, they felt left out. They didn't have a voice, and that was pretty much it. You know, it's the Elliot Charles pretty much said, which is the athletic director, said, "Hey guys, you know what? You know, we're not gonna have baseball anymore. We're gonna have a men's soccer team to replace baseball." And
And now on the screen, Leo, there's a response from the Chicago State Director of Athletics, Elliot Charles, and it says that this decision was one that didn't arrive at lightly. We are working diligently to support our student athletes during this change. But we are now finding out that the baseball team is going to be replaced with a soccer team.
And
right.
Leo, I want to know, as like a former player, you know, as people read this, they're like, oh, that makes sense. Maybe you got to cut costs. Why does that matter for players who are in the middle of the program to all of a sudden lose their team?
Right. So not only was the team dealing with COVID and you know, the pandemic, now they have to go through their scholarships being cut, and I believe once the new school year comes about, you know, the players that want to stick around for the education, they will no longer have a athletic scholarship. Most guys are play elsewhere, and for them to know mid-June, this following month is going to be they're going to be making some pretty big decisions, see whether or not they're leaving out of town. They're probably going to be looking at some housing, and they have to find a new team, and that's very difficult for a lot of guys.
Yeah, I know it's difficult to answer, but do you know what you might end up doing, Leo?
I am not at Chicago State anymore. I already graduated. But some of the guys that are there now that are juniors and seniors, I had the opportunity to play with 3 years ago, and they were freshmen then. My friend Reggie Bragg, Dylan Cummings, and you know, Blake. So those are the guys that are coming at me like, hey, we're kind of stuck here, and they're kind of venting to me about it. And I went through the transfer process because I came from a private school, and I went to Chicago State for 2 years. And so I know how the transfer process is. And, you know, I dealt with credits not coming over. And some of these guys are about to go through that, and hopefully soon, because, you know, August is coming. It's right around the corner.
Hey, Leo, I wanted to ask about that transfer process, not only academically, but normally athletes, when they transfer, they have to take like a year off, depending on the sport. I don't know. Is that rule being waived for people? How does that work?
I am not 100% sure on how it's going to work for them because of all this process going on. Also with COVID hitting NCAA, and I do believe that 4-year seniors are going to get an extra year, but I am not 100% on that right now. And then for the Chicago State baseball players, you know, for the guys that are seniors now, I'm not sure what's going to happen to them either.
Because they just lost their season already. I mean,
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah, they had a couple games. You know, they had an amazing schedule this year. They went to Hawaii for the trip, and a few weeks later, their coach was fired. and then they got hit with, baseball was going to get cut. And so I mean, sure, if Chicago State has a losing record, it's NCAA, it's Division I. Okay, you get rid of the coach, you try to replace him with another coach. But if you cut the program, you got to let these guys know mid-year, when you want to do it. So they found out February, March when it was trending, and for them to find out mid-June, it's very frustrating for them.
Yeah, I can't imagine that, Leo. And we were talking about this too, really quickly before we let you go. I think you were the one that was telling me that there is no soccer field or stadium or anything like that at CSU.
Right. So the women's soccer team is using a local high school field, which is very nice. In the past few years, I believe in 2013, the Chicago State invested $2.5 million in a new baseball field for the baseball team called Cougar Stadium. And for them to now cut pro baseball and to bring in a soccer team, where are they going to play? They don't have a soccer field. And it's a beautiful field. The Chicago State, what they should have done is use that field to bring the community together, to have camps, get recruitment, and now all of that is thrown out the window, and a baseball field is left.
Yeah, Leo, thank you so much for sharing your opinions, what the players are telling you. We appreciate this conversation. Hopefully we can continue having more conversations and updates. You let us know if there's anything else along the lines.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, guys, so this is definitely a conversation that's been had all over social media. Like you said, parents too. I mean, like, what do you tell your kid, your athlete?
What I don't like is that they say, oh, this is going to save us $500,000 a year in terms of losing baseball. But they haven't addressed how much soccer is going to cost, especially if you don't have a stadium to play in. And you just spend millions of dollars on a new field. Like, it seems like a poor – I mean, I'm not in on all the meetings and know all the ins and outs, but I can see where the frustration lies.
That's their point is, well, they have the same questions that you have, and they want answers.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're coming back up at 11, Felicia and Deanna.
We sure are, you guys. We're going to be speaking with David Sanchez, and he's a style expert, particularly for men. So we're going to be talking men summer fashion, and I want my fellas in my life to look good, so I'll be tuned in, obviously.
I'll be taking notes and maybe following some of them. So Trevor Norris is also going to join us. He's a really funny comedian. He went viral for his Instagram and TikTok videos on his kind of commentary on songs and artists from the 90s and early 2000s. I felt extremely seen with his commentary about how we enjoyed music back then. So can't wait to chat with him.
All that coming up at 11. Oh.
And much more. That's it.
That's all I there you go.